Happy Monday rolling out. This is your host, Crystal Jordan, and this is another edition of Reality Check. I'm excited about today's guest because I'm always excited about the guest, but you guys know I love anything Black Girl Magic related. And so today we are going to talk with two of the ladies from OWN's new hit reality show, Ladies Who List Atlanta. But before we get into that, I want to make sure if you guys are at home, and you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you like and subscribe. If you're watching this on Rolling Out, make sure that you hit like and make sure that you share this conversation because we're talking to ladies about, work-life balance, all those amazing things that women can relate to. So we want to make sure that you're sharing this broadcast. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my guests on for tonight. I have the Millennial Crew from Ladies Who List Atlanta. Please help me welcome Kira and Tiffani.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Good evening.
How are you all?
We are good. Well, trying to be
great.
good.
Yeah. Besides this voice, I'm great.
Right.
Well, we know that you all just had the premiere was on Friday for Ladies Who List Atlanta. I guess the first thing is just to ask you, how are you? Are you still kind of like in shock? Are you excited? I mean, I know you tape and no one knows, and then all of a sudden the announcement comes out and then the show comes on and then people are like, oh my God. So how are you feeling right now, a few days after the premiere of Ladies Who List?
I think personally, I'm feeling good about it. I think the show, me sitting back watching it just as a TV consumer, it was good. It had a great storyline. It did start off a little spicy. Me and Kira was not in the spice, but it was just enough of professionalism and just a little bit of the spiciness that kind of drew the audience in. So I'm just super excited about it. I'm super excited about our storylines just kind of rolling out and the audience getting to know all of us.
Kira, what about you?
I think for me, I'm very anxious. I'm somebody that wants something right then and there. So I wish all of the episodes would have been dumped on Friday. But I'm very excited. The first episode, like Tiffani said, was great. It had the consumers wanting more. It had me wanting more. I'm like calling the producer, like, can you tell me something? What's going to happen? And we just don't know what's going to be next, like for episode 2, 3, 4, 5 through 8. So it's very exciting, but it's also, it makes you anxious as well because I'm very anxious.
Yeah, well, I think because we're used to kind of consuming content in like sometimes the entire series, I think people are used to that. But I do like the idea of stretching it out because it allows your audience to grow with you. One of the things I liked about talking to you guys first is that you all are the moms. You've got the children and the husband at home, and that was the scene that we saw. Before we get into more about what you have going on, I want to go ahead and play the trailer for anyone that did not have a chance to see Ladies Who List Atlanta on Friday. Here is the trailer. It's going to give you a little snippet into what you can expect from these powerhouse realtors, listing agents, brokers, all selling amazing properties here in the city of Atlanta. Here is the trailer for Ladies Who List.
Together. We are badass women. We give our all in our businesses.
Not only do we know what we're doing, but we look good doing it.
What if we create the biggest, baddest brokerage that Atlanta has ever seen? And here are your keys.
My client is an actress. She's really gonna like a modern home. Oh, this is gorgeous. How are you always pulling this off?
Black girl magic.
Oh, really?
Being a woman, we're expected to work as hard as a man, still be soft.
Can you run a business with these ladies? You don't play in the sandbox very well.
Here we go.
You're triggered.
Stop saying that.
Girl, I was triggered. Who wasn't triggered? I'm done with you.
It's going to be very tough to let this home go.
Decisions are going to have to be made.
We have to lock it in.
The sky is the limit.
So there we are. There's just a little snippet. Now, in the first episode, we saw you all kind of bonding over trying to find that work-life balance, if there is any such thing. But especially with a career as demanding as real estate, I'm assuming that clients want you to be on call whenever they have a question or whenever they have a new, they want to know about a new listing. How are you all managing to kind of how do you manage to kind of find that balance in this profession that is so demanding? And it is also, very exciting. People think it's like a luxury. Well, it is a luxury type, profession.
I will say for oh, I'm sorry. I will say for me, I work a lot with a lot of high end clientele. So celebrities, influencers, YouTubers, whatever the case may be, athletes. I work a lot alongside with them, and they are some of the most demanding clients ever. But for me and my business, I enjoy doing luxury. I enjoy having that type of clientele because they are a repeat consumer. Last year, two of my clients purchased 3 properties a piece from me. So that was 6 properties with 2 clients. So I am always available. And I'm very flexible with my job because, unlike Tiffani, I don't have kids. I do not have a husband. So I'm just free. I'm a free spirit. I'm free to do whatever I please. And I know where I'm trying to go in life. So for me, I try to structure my business to be as accessible as possible, especially to that clientele base that continues to bring me ongoing business. But it's hard. It's very hard to balance love, life, traveling, prayer, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think
That's my bad. I thought both of you guys were had that same kind of situation going on at home. But Tiffani, so I
that's
guess that
Tiana.
question is really for you. Like, how do you manage being a mommy and being on call for clients and also being there for your husband? And, I'm sure trying to have some peace, for yourself. How do you manage to make that all work?
I think, honestly, keeping things in perspective, last year I actually had a mental breakdown where I was pretty much mentally incapacitated for 2 months because I let the anxiety, I let the stress of everything consume me, and I didn't take care of me. So it is hard to get that balance, but with therapy and just realizing that, look, you got to gas yourself up first, right? You got to make sure that you are taken care of first. And so now I put myself first and I take that time off so that I'm not stressing out. I take that time off from work to be with my family, to then also be just by myself. So just putting everything in perspective and realizing that if you don't answer every phone call from every client, that they'll still be back. That if you mess up, it's okay because you can fix it. I think for me, I'm a perfectionist. I want everything to be right. I want everybody to be happy. I want everything just to be, perfect. And the reality of that is that people are going to be mad. People are going to be upset. I'm going to do things, right one time, and then I might get it wrong the other time. And so just keeping that at the forefront of my mind, that's how, since my mental breakdown, I've been able to be in a good space mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Well, I definitely want to thank you for sharing that because I know that a lot of us, especially like I said, this show is all about Black excellence and we see Black women performing at a high level. But that's also what you just talked about is also a part of performing at that high level. A lot of times we're trying to be so perfect and get everything right, and we're not taking out the time to make sure that we're okay. If you were to give people some red flags that you may not have realized before it got to the point of the breakdown, what were some of the red flags that you could share with other women that may be in that same situation and not realizing that, eventually the dam will break?
Right. So your temper, coming home being short with your children or your husband or your family, just being really irritated. My jaws were actually hurting because when I would sleep, I would grind my teeth. I wouldn't get up and go to the bathroom. I would be so stuck in front of my computer. I wouldn't take any breaks. My memory. I remember being at my son's game, and that's like my release, like when I go to my children's games, and that's when I'm just like, I can be fully present. I'm excited. I'm not thinking about anything else. After his game, I couldn't remember where my car was because your mind is it's just going so many different places. So your memory not being there. Those are some of the red flags that I didn't know were red flags until, I went to therapy and, she helped me get out of that dark hole. And it's so crazy though, as much as it was a bad situation or, people who deal with anxiety or panic, the reality is that anxiety is also what helps us perform at the level that we perform at.
It
So if
is.
you remove the anxiety, you also remove the performance at that high level. So you
Mhm.
also have to embrace that as well and know that without that, you probably wouldn't be this, great Black businesswoman that has multiple employees and just really doing that damn thing. So I've also learned to embrace it as well.
Those are some huge gems, and I think, again, thank you for sharing that. I think people, period, it doesn't matter what profession you're in, can relate to feeling that way. Kira, I want to go back to you because you mentioned having this clientele that, I mean, that is a lot. 3 properties for 2 clients. That's huge. You probably didn't need to do anything else that year if they were the right type of client. So what did you do? How did you break into that? Because we know a lot. I mean, Atlanta and most major, cities are filled with real estate agents. What can you share with us about how you went about kind of building that clientele and cultivating those relationships that would allow you to stay in that circle and network in those circles?
I think for me, I've been in real estate 4 years, going on 5. So I was able to tap into this luxury market a lot quicker than some people would have with a lot of big names. And I
Mm-hmm.
will say it all starts with the knowledge that you're able to give people and the type of service. So anytime I was learning something, I was sharing it on my platforms, Facebook, Instagram. So people were watching me. And then I started following my peers or people who I believed in, like people believed in me. Those people blew up and I blew up. So what happened when it came time for them to purchase a home? They started working with me. Once they started working with me, it was a referral based system. So it's one of those things. If you know someone, they know their friends know of you too. So it's a circle, it's a tight knit circle. And with me, I myself on social media, like the first episode you saw, I post swimsuit photos. I'm out, traveling the world at bars, on beaches. I am myself, and most of my clientele, the YouTubers, the Instagrammers, the rappers, they're around my age group, so they are able to relate to me. I think a lot of times people think that you have to act as someone else or act higher or older or whatever the case may be. They feel like they can't act themselves, so therefore they're trying to attract the wrong type of people.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I've always told myself, stay true to who you are and the right people will come. And that has worked for me so far.
We lost Tiffany. Hopefully she'll jump back on. We did see in the first scene, well, one of the first scenes when you're talking to Kiana and she mentions the swimsuit picture. Did that have negative backlash? Because the picture looked great. I can't imagine what negative backlash came from that picture.
So that was the picture that we just actually used. There was a photo, and the photo was of me in a black swimsuit. And
Okay.
it was when I went to DR and I hadn't fully tapped into real estate like I was now. This was maybe 2.5 years ago because me and Q, we've known each other for, a while. And yes, before I was Kira, the luxury realtor, I was Kira starting off in real estate. So people were looking, no one's going to take you serious if you're posting this. You need to be posting real estate and all of those things. And me and my broker had a talk about, and I said, hey, look, like, this is me. Like, I got into real estate when I was 24. I said, I'm not a 36-year-old, 40-year-old woman. This is who I am. So let me learn and grow until I become that woman, because I'm going to attract the people that want to work with me for me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Tiffany, I'm glad you were able to get back on. I think we hear a lot about agents, and I think the show is teaching the difference between the brokers. We heard Robin explain the difference in that first episode between a real estate agent and a broker. Tiffany, can you explain what goes into being a closing attorney? That seems like the person that you definitely want to have a great relationship with if you're an agent. Tell us a little bit more about what you contribute to that process, and how important is the relationship between the closing attorney and the agent and the broker? How does that dynamic play out?
So being a closing attorney in the state of Georgia, we are a necessary party to the transaction. You can't close a deal without us. So it is super important for us to develop these relationships that we have with one another, me and Kira, when Kira first got in the industry, that's when we met. And I kind of took Kira up under my wing. Whatever questions she had, I was there. And I kind of grew with Kira. So when we first started our relationship off, she wasn't doing the type of closings that she's doing now. But with our relationship and it growing and her clientele growing to the people that it is now, I've been able to be a part of that. And, as much as people, don't care about celebrities, when you do close those celebrities, you get more business. I remember me doing a closing for Cardi B, and I having a relationship with this particular agent, me being able to have access to her, just did a wonders for my business when I did that closing. And so, developing these relationships and kind of keeping up with them with the agents, it also allows for you to work with people you want to work with. Like I don't want to work with everybody because everybody's not for me. There's a lot of people out here who have different temperaments. They get angry quickly. They probably need to see my same therapist, right? But with my relationship with Kira, we don't have that. If Kira needs something, she'll text me, and I'll be there for her and give her the information that she needs when it comes to her clientele. And she makes my job easy because she allows me to do my job. So developing these relationships with real estate agents are definitely, a huge part of the success of my business. And I'm so thankful for Kira, for Tiana, for Kiana, because I've closed with all of those ladies for, allowing me to do those transactions for them.
Well, congratulations on that Cardi B. I think that was the big house that they bought that was in the news. That was a huge deal. So congratulations on that. I do want to ask, so I know that we hear closing attorney. Did you go to law school? Is that the same process? Did you know is this a certain arm of the law that deals with real estate specifically? Can you talk a little bit more about that for anyone that may be listening, that may be interested in going to law school, but might not have known exactly how this fits into, what they're planning to study?
So when you go to law school, it's just like any other degree. Once you get that license, you can practice whatever type of law that you want. There's no certain area of law that you have to practice or no extra classes you got to take. Once you get that license to practice law, you can practice any type of law. What led me to go into real estate is when I was in college, I ended up getting pregnant my last year. And I was headed to law school, got pregnant with my oldest son, and couldn't go to law school at that time. And so what I ended up doing is I went and got a paralegal certificate and sent my resume out to every law firm in Augusta, Georgia. And the law firm that actually called me back was a real estate law firm. And so this allowed me to work as a paralegal for years. And then I went to law school at night while still working as a real estate paralegal during the day. And so when I graduated law school, it was just, what I've been doing for years. And so I opened up my firm immediately. And that's honestly how I got into real estate, because I didn't come from a home where we purchased houses. So I didn't know that process. I didn't think about it. But getting access to, that job where it was real estate, it just exposed me to a whole different lifestyle. And now, I've been doing real estate since 2006. So I kind of know it like the back of my hand.
That's a great story. Kira, what about you? What was it about real estate that attracted you to it? And did you come in knowing that you wanted to work specifically in luxury properties?
So for me, like Tiffani said, I didn't grow up. We didn't learn about real estate. We didn't purchase homes. I grew up in a trailer, but one thing my granddad did, he always left the TV on HGTV. So when I went to college and it's time to watch HGTV or watch TV, my TV stays on that channel. So at the time, I was in school in Alabama at Troy University, and I had taken all the general classes. They were like, Kira, you need to pick a major. And I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. And my friend tells me, your TV is always on HGTV. You need to think about getting into real estate. So I had never thought about that. They actually introduced me to it. So when I was in college, I took international business with a concentration in marketing. That's what I have my degree in. But prior to me graduating, I actually started researching real estate and real estate careers. I talked to a few realtors and they said, hey, if this is something you want to do, I would advise that you graduate, and then whatever state you decide to move to, get your license there, because it may not be reciprocated, meaning if I am licensed in Alabama, it may not transfer over to Georgia. So I waited until I graduated. I signed up for the real estate course, had 2 jobs, got laid off from my last job. I finished that course and I've been doing real estate ever since. When I first started, I was just trying to make some money and keep my head above water. I wasn't thinking luxury. I was actually doing rentals where I was making maybe $100 off of each rental. And I was just educating myself along the way and educating other people as I was learning. And then it just transitioned into luxury. I was just trying to get a client at the time. And this is what happened.
Nice.
Help me pay my light bill, please.
You make more money than me. Oh, me, yeah, pay my please.
No, I like that, because you guys are great examples of, yes, you can have beauty and brains and all that, but it takes substance to actually get to that point. You don't just, nothing is handed to anyone. So let's talk about the show. So you all are on this show. How did this happen? How did you end up a part of a cast on own from just dealing with real estate here in Georgia?
So this process was actually started like maybe 3 years ago. I know a lot of the ladies, we have a huge presence on social media. So if you're looking to start a real estate show in Atlanta and you're using social media, you're going to see all of us. And I think that's how, we got access, or Monique, who's the producer of the show, she got access to us was by Instagram. So the opportunity came to us. And we, started this thing like 3 years ago. Then COVID happened. That put a stop to everything. And I didn't know if it was going to be a real thing or not. Like, I'm just like, oh, it's an opportunity. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I think it was maybe May of this year, we were notified that OWN wanted us to be on, their network. And it was like, okay, Oprah. It was like, okay, Oprah. And I think it was just the perfect network for what we're doing. I mean, we are 6 African-American women who own our own businesses. Like, we are all independent of one another, and we all, have successful businesses. And what better network than OWN, a network that is centered upon African-American, a lot of the shows have African-American women in it. And so it was just the perfect outlet to get us out there so that the world can see just the different facets of all of our lives. Kira, we're totally different, but our work ethic is the same. And so just like we talked about how nothing comes by osmosis, like we have to actually work really, really hard. And I think that in this day and time, the younger generation has it all messed up. They think that, oh, I'm gonna jump on Instagram and instantly become, a successul business or whatever. And the idea of that is like, no, there's so much work that goes behind the scenes. So anybody can post on Instagram to make it look like you're actually busy or make it look like you're actually doing something. But the reality is that if you are doing something, you are working. You're not working 9 to 5. You're working 7 to 12. You're working weekends. You're working, it's just the whole hustle that goes into it. So, what better network than OWN?
I agree. I absolutely agree. Kira, let me ask you, because I wonder, obviously social media is a big part of promotion with anything. It's probably brings clients to you. It brings attention. It shows other people that are your peers, maybe that they would want to collaborate with you. How do you balance knowing what to share on social media, because you are actually doing the work, and when it's, how do you draw that line? How do you find that balance between what I want to share for people that, are watching for my business and what I want to keep private to myself, for my own personal life?
So for me, I love to inspire. And so my social media is basically based around inspiration. It's not love, it's more, travel and live your best life. Work hard every single day. Go out to eat at nice restaurants or go to Chipotle and eating your sweats. Like, I want to inspire people to do whatever it is that they want to do. So I try to structure my social media around me and how I want to inspire people. So I'm not on social media, smoking weed or not saying anything is wrong with that, but for me that just doesn't align with the picture that I'm trying to portray to everyone else. So I look at it like the clients that I've been attracting by posting what has worked so far, I'm going to continue to do that. So once I found out what started working, I just continue to do that. And what I've learned is people want to feel like they can relate to you. And all of my clients, most of my clients are millennials. They're young, they're successful, and they don't always want to work with someone that they feel like they can't relate to or a robot. They need someone to break down every single thing to them. And for me, that's what I do. And I go on live all the time. On probably when I get off of this, I'll be on live. Before I came on, I got on live because it's important for people to hear your voice, hear your knowledge, see your goofy side, see your serious side, because they feel like, hey, I know Kira, that's my friend. And that's what I say. Everybody's my friend. Tiffany will say, Kira's everybody's damn friend. Like, she is friends with everybody. And that's just how I do it on social media.
I like that. Well, if you guys are just tuning in here on Rolling Out or from Crystal XO, we are talking with two of the ladies from Ladies Who List Atlanta. The show is actually on OWN on Friday nights. Now, there's a few other shows, a few other real estate shows. We're not going to mention those names on this show. But one of the complaints were that on some of the other shows, we don't see a lot of closings. And so I got to give you guys props, because on the very first show, we see a closing for a $500,000 house. And then we see a actress, Crystal, that's actually she's here in Atlanta sometimes, between LA and Atlanta, looking at a $3 million house. So we see work is actually happening. It's a little different. It sets Ladies Who List Atlanta aside from some of the other real estate shows. So you guys got to make sure that you check this show out. I want to ask you guys, before I get into to asking you all about what you think that we're going to see coming up, I'm actually in the process of buying a house, and it's been very difficult in Atlanta. So it's been extremely difficult. Can you guys talk a little bit, especially you, Kira, about the market right now and why things are so, why is there so little inventory, and why are people, kind of panicking and looking and houses selling for so much higher than the market value? What's going on with the real estate market right now?
So this is how I explain it to my clients. Land is something that they can't produce any more of. Whatever land is here, that's what's here. Atlanta is finally becoming what Atlanta should have been years ago. We are a major city. We are full of Black excellence. And during COVID, that's really when we started to see a spike. Right before COVID, we were still a seller's market, but even more so when COVID happened, it just took off. And there are a lot of different reasons. During COVID, you could say, hey, I live in New York, but now I can work remote due to my company closing the office. And lenders were able to approve people maybe from New York or California to purchase homes here, which are less than their market. So they were able to come in with more cash, more capital, and start buying up our properties. With it being a seller's market and with us having no inventory, that's the reasoning for these properties going 50,000. I had a client that agreed to pay $200,000 over asking price on a property, and we ended up closing on it. And you have to think about it this way: you can either take advantage of a low interest rate and pay $10,000 more, or you can wait until next year when the prices have gone up 50 more thousand, and then you have a higher interest rate. So you're at a double loss there. And a lot of people, especially in the beginning of COVID, were like, I can borrow $500,000 on a 30-year mortgage at a 2.5% interest rate. Why would I not do that? This is the opportunity of a lifetime. And for me and my third property that I bought at 4, that was the reasoning for buying that third property, because I told myself, I said, you're never going to get an interest rate like this. This house is going to be $100,000 more next year. You need to go ahead and take the plunge. I feel like if a lot more people were educated, especially our culture, we would be more proactive and we would be more aggressive when it came to real estate and purchasing these properties, because it's one of the top things that creates wealth within the people in this country.
Absolutely. Tiffani, what are you looking forward to seeing? I know you all aren't involved in the editing process, but what are you looking forward to seeing this season from the rest of the series? I'm not sure how many episodes you all have, but what are you excited to hopefully see on the show and hopefully get to share with the audience?
I'm definitely hoping to see, just to be a little selfish, more of my storyline and what I have to offer. I don't necessarily deal with a lot of the drama, because I just have a different lifestyle. I have 3 children. I have a husband. I'm running a business. So I don't really have the time to, engage in any type of toxic behavior. I just don't have it. And so, I would just love for the story of, the Black family to be out there, raising children with a mother and a father in the same house, owning businesses, owning real estate, so that people understand that, the Black family is very, very important. It's important for the next generation. And so just seeing more of my storyline roll out with, the other ladies, me and Tiana, we have a lot in common. Me and Kara, like we have so many fun closings where it's not your traditional office conference room closings. Like, Kara's young and vibrant. She wants to do things different. She doesn't want to do things the same. And I'm flexible like that in my business. It doesn't have to be in a luxurious conference room. It could be at the property. We can have a party. We can have a DJ. We can, have a red Solo cup. You know what I'm saying? We just like to relax and have fun and just kind of enjoy the process of home ownership. We talk about luxury properties, but the opportunity to buy any real estate is the luxury. That's the luxury. It's not the $1 million properties. Just the opportunity to buy any type of real estate, it's a luxury. So
how have your children respond? Are they excited to see mommy on TV and them on TV coming up?
So my oldest, he's 15. He does not want to see anything. Like, he doesn't want his friends to know about it.
Oh, no.
He's like, I'm not promoting this. My babies, though, oh, they're like, when are we filming? When are we coming on the TV? Oh, did you see? Oh, Josiah, Jolie, I saw it. So the babies are super duper excited. My oldest and my husband, not so much. They're very conservative. They're very like, they don't like to be in the public eye. They don't like any of the attention. And so it was definitely, a little different for them. But my husband is always like, whatever you want to do, Tiffani, whether I want to do it or not, I'll support you, whether I'm happy about it or not. I'll be there for you. Meanwhile, my teenager is like, I don't like that dress that you had on,
Enjoy that stage, Tiffani. Those teenage years are so fun. So enjoy that.
Yay.
What about you? What are you looking forward to people seeing from what you guys presented? I love the idea of that closing. That's super cool. Just doing something that's different, because you do always think of it in a very, classic, boring. People are like, let's get this done. So that's super cool. But what else are you looking forward to kind of sharing with the public, and then, watching yourself along with your friends and family?
I'm excited, like Tiffani, to see myself too. So for my personal reasonings, I want to see me being able to show people, hey, you can be young, you can be going through whatever it is that you're going through in your love life. And as you saw in the previews, my house burned down. Like, I lost everything that I had right before we found out about the show. And that is real life. That is not fake. And I want to show people you can still be a boss. You can be young. You can be out here. You can be hustling, but you can still be going through things that require a lot of grace. We are not robots. We do not operate when someone says, open your eyes, close your eyes, do this, do that. We go through real things. So I want to show people that you can be resilient. Like you can do anything you want to do and have a positive attitude. A lot of times people go through things and they're rude to people. They feel like God has just shunned them out and taken everything that they had from them. And I want to show people there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I just hope that it was portrayed in that manner, which I know it will be. But as far as the overall show, I want it to continue to show what it's showing. Of course, there's going to be drama. Everybody has drama in their real life. That doesn't mean that you still can't get things accomplished. Me and Tiffani, like we worked together before. Me and Kiana have worked together before. I've known Tiana for years. Like we've been at birthday parties, gatherings, crazy karaoke nights. Like you can be successful women and not be in competition with each other. A lot of times people try to pin us up against one another, or, oh, this person is better than this person, or this show is better than this show, or this closing attorney, this agent. It doesn't matter. We're all out there. We're all hustling. We're all getting to the money, taking care of our families and ourselves. And that is something to celebrate. It doesn't always have to be competition in order to win or get to the top. So that's what I hope the show shows everybody.
I love that. I love that because we definitely believe in that here. I think that women, especially Black women, we can definitely work together. I think those stereotypes have got to change, but their stereotypes are out there because it can be difficult. But I love the idea of working to change those, to change that narrative, So I guess my last question to both of you guys, because that is one of the big themes that we see kind of played out, is our successful Black women able to play in the sandbox. that little reference was used several times in the first episode. Do you think that you all managed to prove the narrative wrong and that you are able to come together and play well in the sandbox together? Do you think people will see that this season, Tiffani?
I think so. The idea behind Robin's idea, I mean, it's pretty big, but it's also like something that will be very difficult to kind of carry out because we're all independent and we all have our own businesses. We've all built things independently of one another. And not that I don't play in the sandbox, but I'm very careful about who I do business with or what relationships that I have with people, because you have to, like, if you can't go into business with everybody because it'll always end up in some type of litigation or some type of disagreement. And so I am just very cautious of who I work with, who I have in my inner circle. I'm not like Kira, I allow Kira in my personal space because she's genuine. She's just a great person. Her energy is great. And if you just allow everybody in that personal circle, you don't know what they're bringing with them.
What energy they're bringing to you. That's true.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm just very cautious with that because I have so much going on. And with everything recently happening to me, with my mental life, it's like, you got to put you first and make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who, are kind of, on your same page. Of
like mind.
Exactly, of like mind. So, I think that in this industry, it's so small. So we'll end up working together, but coming under like some huge, same building, I don't know exactly how that's gonna play. We're all independent of one another.
Yeah. So it's a lot of very capable, conscientious, amazing women that have already been successful on their own, managing to come together. Well, you guys, if you saw that clip, Robin said she wanted to have the biggest and the baddest Black brokerage agency in the city of Atlanta. I think if it would happen anywhere, it would definitely be here in Atlanta. I want to thank you ladies both. You guys were awesome interviews tonight. And I think that it just shows that OWN did a great job in casting, because to be able to come on and be so transparent, as opposed to just, yes, we all like looking at the glamorous stuff, but to actually share words and experiences that can help others, I truly appreciate that. So I appreciate both of you guys. And we will definitely be watching Ladies Who List Atlanta. Can you guys let people know where to follow you and also when, of course, they can catch the show?
Go ahead,
Let's
Kira.
start with Kira.
You can follow me at the Kira Oliver, so TheKira Oliver on Instagram.
Okay, Tiffany.
And then you can follow me on Instagram, Tiffani Hawes, Tiffani with the I, TIFFANI, Hawes, HAWES _ closing attorney. And then you can catch us every Friday at 9 on OWN Network. You know, OWN has also now transitioned to Hulu, so you don't need cable. You know, you can catch us on Hulu as well. And then, you know, you'll see us out here actually working.
And we actually just got on Twitter and we've been tweeting a lot.
We've been tweeting.
My Twitter is still the Kira Oliver if you want to tweet and have conversations.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you guys check both of these ladies out. Like I said, I think we're going to have next Monday, we'll have 2 more of the cast here. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Again, thank you both for being our first guests from Ladies Who List. We wish you both much success. And if you all, aside from just following on social media, if you need a home, because I'm sure people still want to want to take advantage of that interest rate, make sure you call the Kira. What was it? The Kira. What's your last name?
Oliver.
The Kira Oliver on IG, and then she'll get with Tiffany and close you up, and you'll be good. You'll be
yes.
Thank you, ladies. Have a blessed week.
Thank you.
You
Good
too.
night.
Thank you so much.
Bye. All right. Now, you all don't go anywhere. Don't go. Actually, you can go somewhere for a few minutes because we're coming right back. You all know we have the interview with Sabrina from Ready to Love. I saw a few people. Just Fatima said she tuned in to see that interview. Well, it's coming up at 9 p.m. Eastern. In about 15 minutes, we're talking with the lady herself, Sabrina, that basically championed us all by choosing herself over everything else. So make sure you tune in for that. But definitely check out Ladies Who List Atlanta. OWN keeps coming back with more and more great programming that shows the Black experience from our perspective. So we definitely appreciate that. I think I saw someone was tuning in. Yes, Shawnee from South America. Thank you so much for watching. We definitely appreciate it here. Again, if you haven't hit the like button, make sure that you do that. Make sure if you're watching my YouTube that you subscribe. And like I said, I'll be back in 15 minutes with Sabrina. Please be here early. Have your questions ready because we're going to have a great conversation. I'll see you guys in about 15 minutes. Tune in and let's talk.